It was said that once you saw her, you could never unsee her. In the dimly lit streets of a small African village, whispered tales of the woman with no face spread like wildfire. She was more than just a legend, she was a warning, a shadowy figure that haunted the darkest corners of people's minds. Late one evening, Mia, a curious young woman, was walking home from the market. The air was thick with the scent of rain-soaked earth, and the crickets sang their eerie tune. Her grandmother had warned her never to wander alone at night. "Beware of the faceless woman," she had said, her voice trembling with fear. But Mia, skeptical of old folk tales, brushed it off as superstition. The moon hid behind dark clouds as Mia hurried along the path. Suddenly, she felt a chill crawl up her spine. The night was too quiet now, the crickets had stopped singing. She turned her head slightly, her heartbeat quickening. Out of the corner of her eye, she saw a shadowy figure standing under an ancient baobab tree. Mia froze. The figure didn't move, but something about it was deeply unsettling. Summoning her courage, she called out, "Hello? Who's there?" There was no reply. Slowly, she inched closer, her instincts telling her to run but her curiosity drawing her forward. As she got closer, she noticed the figure was a woman dressed in a flowing white robe. Her body was oddly stiff, and her face was obscured by shadows. When Mia was just a few feet away, the woman turned her head. Mia's breath caught in her throat. Where the woman's face should have been, there was nothing. Just smooth, blank skin. Mia stumbled back, her mind racing. She tried to scream, but her voice betrayed her. The faceless woman took a step forward, her movements unnaturally slow and deliberate. "Who are you?" Mia finally managed to whisper. A voice, faint and distorted, echoed in the air. "I am the forgotten, the unwanted, the cursed." Mia's legs trembled as the woman's words seeped into her mind. The stories her grandmother told her as a child flooded back. The woman with no face was said to be a spirit who sought revenge on those who ignored the warnings of the ancestors. Desperate, Mia turned and ran as fast as her legs could carry her. The path seemed endless, and the night grew darker with every step. She could feel the presence of the woman behind her, though she dared not look back. Her grandmother's words echoed in her head, "If she calls your name, don't answer. If you hear her footsteps, don't stop running." The sound of bare feet slapping against the wet ground grew louder, closer. Mia's heart pounded in her chest, her breaths ragged and shallow. She stumbled into her family's compound, slamming the door shut behind her. For a moment, all was silent. But then she heard it, a soft knock on the door. 3 slow taps. Mia's blood ran cold. "Mia," the voice was faint, almost melodic, but it sent shivers down her spine. She clutched a talisman her grandmother had given her, a charm meant to ward off evil spirits. "Mia, open the door," the voice called again, more insistent this time. Mia's hands trembled as she whispered a prayer. The knocking stopped, replaced by an eerie silence. She didn't dare move, her eyes fixed on the door. Hours passed, and the first rays of dawn began to seep through the cracks in the walls. Mia finally mustered the courage to open the door. The woman was gone, but the ground outside was covered in footprints leading away from the house. The village elders later explained that the woman with no face appears to those who dismiss the wisdom of their ancestors. She is a guardian of forgotten traditions, a harbinger of consequences for those who stray too far from their roots. From that day forward, Mia never ignored her grandmother's advice. The story of the woman with no face became more than a tale to her, it became a chilling reminder of the unseen forces that linger in the shadows. To this day, travelers in the region still speak of the faceless woman. They say she roams the countryside, searching for those who have turned their backs on the ways of old. And when the night grows too quiet, when the crickets stop singing, some swear they can hear her footsteps in the dark. So if you ever find yourself walking alone at night in an unfamiliar place, remember this: respect the wisdom of the past, or risk meeting the woman with no face.